Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you had a great time and wish you a good day ahead. Today we are talking about the lookup and referencing function. So we are starting with the lookup functions, which we are using quite a lot while we are dealing with the data that we have. So in general, when we are talking about looking or lookup, it means looking for something, or in another way, we mean that we are searching for something in our data set and then using a sort of information, then from this information, getting the other information that we are looking for. Sometimes it happens that we are looking for, let's say, within the data of the student, we are looking for the grade of one of the weeks that you did it. So how we are finding this data? You cannot just go and search every time and finding this data. So what we are doing, we are just putting a sort of dynamic search and then using this dynamic search to find in the data that we want. So how to do this and how to find this data by using the functions, especially lookup function. So it's super easy and we can just do it in a way that is helping us to find the exact data in a specific time, dynamic search. Like each time we are just filling the field with the data, and then it will return the required information that we're looking for. So when we are using lookup value, we have to be careful that our data has to be sorted according to the field or the column that we are looking for the data, or according to the value that we can put it in the lookup section or the lookup value, and this value being in a row or in a column, and this row or column have to be sorted ascendingly, like from A to Z. So first, what we are doing, this is required, do not forget. So we are just coming here and say sort A to Z. Yes, I want to expand the selection, sort. Now I see this column is being sorted. So coming here, I will say look up value. Then the output. So let's come here. Before putting any data here, we are just writing the function. So when we say that we are writing a function, we have to have an equal sign. This is the first requirement for the functions, and we said it quite a lot. Now we are writing what we are writing, look up, then open a bracket, give the reference of the cell that we are looking for the data. We have a comma here. Where we are looking for, we are looking in this vector. Select the whole vector. Then where we want the result from, let's say we want the result from the country. We are selecting the vector of the country, then close the bracket. What we did, we said we are looking for a certain data which is going to be in this field that now is empty. Then where we want to look for this data, the data is here in this vector or in this column. Later, where we want the output to be, or where we want the data from, we want the data from this column. So we we select the column and now enter. Here, because we have nothing, so it gave us NA or not available. So let's try to get one of these. Okay, I'm just selecting this one and V. Straight, it will give me the output, which is Peru. Now, if we are looking at the Lima, we have what? We have Peru. Here, we took this code. So Lima, Peru. This way, we can find any data, anything based on this information. If we take it, the student's data, this is your data, it's not this one. Thank you. So let's take data from, yeah, this one. So if I want to check for some information from your data, what I will do, I will just say equal, selecting from anywhere, look up, then open a bracket. I will select from this cell. Then where I will look for the data, I will look for it from here. Then which one I want to get the result from, I want the result from this one. Then close the bracket, enter. Now, if I put any of the codes, let's say I'm putting UOS-21 dot random list of 062, enter. Straight, it gave me Shema, Hamdallah, or Rahman. So if I wrote any code here, let's change this code to 155 and enter, it will bring me Salim Muhammad Ismail. So this is the way that we are saying is going to be a dynamic search. So you are just writing the code and then it will find me the information that I'm looking for. So just imagine if you have a branch of data, which is, let's say, is around 1,000 rows of data, but I know the code. So here I will just write this and then I will just get back the information straight from this column that I choose randomly. I could just write numbers and then it will give me the name. So if the number is exists, so for example, if I put here, let's say I'm looking for someone, but I'm not sure if he or she is in this list. So I will just say, okay, I'm looking for 005 and enter. Straight, it's telling me that this person is not exist here. So you have to look for this person somewhere else. Or if I wrote something like 500 and enter, I will have Narihan. How come it gives me Narihan? She's not this number. Her number is 157, right? Yes. So why it gives me? Yeah. So here, if the number is like be so big, it will take me to the last number. So from there, I see, okay, this is the last number because as I told you, I have to sort the data from A to Z. So when I write numbers, which is bigger than the range that I have, it will give me the last number to just show me that this is the last one. So be careful that we don't have any number less than more than this value that I put it here. So that's why when I wrote 500, it gave me Lali Khan because it will take me to Lali Khan. And then from there, I see that, okay, Lali Khan is one 57. So 157 is the last one. So I have to stop there. Great. So this is how we are using the lookup value in general. When we are looking for data, know specifically if it's vertical or horizontal data. If we have a data which is sorted vertically, as we have these data here. So I see it's like the names of, or the headings is above. So the data is just sorted horizontally, vertically from up to down. So now I understand that the data is being in a range of vertical let's say sorted or vertical direction. Then I will do something which is called more specifically, which is called Vlookup. So now if I try to do Vlookup, what I have to do, I do the same thing, the output. Right? So what we are doing, we are saying equal V vertical lookup vertically. So where is the data? I will say I will put it here later on. Then we have comma. It will ask for the range of the data that I have. So I will check the data from where I want to start and where to end it. So I will say, okay, it doesn't matter. I will say A2 to F29. This is the whole data that I want to choose. Then it will ask me for the index of the column that I want to get the output of. So let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say I want the output from the column 6. Then it will ask me here, this is the critical part. If you want to get the exact match of the data of the value that you gave, so you have to say false or 0, or you have to choose from here, say I want the exact data. But if in some case that you are writing names, in the case of names, people are writing or spelling the names differently, because there is not a standard for names except some few names, which is like it being standardized, but the rest is not standard. For example, I write Kareem, K-A-R-E-M, but some people are writing it K-A-R-I-M. So according to this, you could say, okay, I don't need the exact match, even if it be closer or approximately to this, the data that I gave much to the data is fine. So now here, because I have code, so I will just say I need the exact match and then close the bracket, enter. Now I'm coming here and I pick any of these value which I have it and then put it here. I see it gave me sort of error, which is I have it with the morning shift as well. So let's change this to, let's start from C2 to F and then enter. Again, it's just telling me the reference is wrong. Why? Because here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I gave 6. So I have to change this 6 to 4. So now I have to get the exact answer, which is 69. Here we have this code. So the last one is 69. Therefore, we have the value according to the data or the information that I'm giving to the lookup function. So it just gives me the exact things that I look for. Sometimes I'm just looking to find if there is duplicate for this data. So in this case, what I will do, I will just come here because I'm looking for a duplicate data. So I will say equal Vlookup, and then what's the data that I'm looking for? Let's say I'm looking for, I don't know, let's just pick anything. So let's say I'm looking for this one and I want to see if there is any duplicate. So what's the vector? It starts from C2 and it ended at F29. Which column I want to focus on? I want to focus on column 2. Then I want the exact match as well, and close this, enter. Now I have this value, so I could just apply it on all. So here I see that it gives me these two based on the duplicate value that I'm looking for. So that's why sometimes you are just taking lookup value to find duplicate data. If you don't want to remove them, you want just to check if there is any duplicate. According to this information, you are just taking them in consideration to, let's say, do action according to the requirement. Because we know that if there is duplicate, I could just do it so easily just by using the remove duplicate data. But sometimes you don't want to use this. You want just to check if there is any duplicate according to this information. You can just take them out and use them for some other purpose. So this is the way that we are dealing with those sort of information. Now, I see that we managed to take the data from the that data set that I want and found the information that I'm looking for, and everything is clear without any problem, without any issue. So I could just apply it on any sort of data, and be careful that it is working from left to right, because we know that the direction of all information is left to right. So if we have the data from right to left, so it also work from right to left. This information is based on the direction of your data that you put, and always is working from right to left or left to right according to the direction of your data. So here, because we have left to right, so we have to be careful that it's starting from left and it's ending at right. Based on this, we can check our data and check for any sort of information that we are looking for. Now, after we did the sort here, I could do what? I could just do copy of this data, Control C, and then take it to another sheet and say Control Alt V, and I want to change the transpose the data from column to rows, and then like this. So what we have here, we have the data in a range of column instead of having in a range of row instead of having them in a range of column. So again, if I want to look for anything, I could just do it the same way. I will just say, okay, I'm looking for some data. I will say equal. This time I have to write it H look up, which is mean horizontal lookup. And then where is my data? Let's suppose we will put it here. Then where is my vector? It starts from here and to the very end, like this. So this is what we have. And then what is the number of the row that we are looking for the data from? Let's say we are looking the data from, well, it's not using all these data. So this is way too much. So we are saying starting from, okay. We are starting from here and then go all the way down. Yes. And then the number of the row that we are looking for the data is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are looking in 3 now. And then I want the exact match of the value that I'm looking for and enter. Again, it gives me this. So let's check any of this data. Let's take this one, Control C and Control V. So straight, it gave me the plan of the travel, which is plane. So this person or this code is traveling with the plane. That's why if someone is just like resort their reservation, the resort number is just this code. So it means that this person is traveling with the plane. So we now, according to this, that the travel is going to be using the plane for transport. So this one, we have to be careful, which is starting from up to down. So it's going to be like from here, it's going down, down, down. Each time when we are choosing, we have to be careful about the direction of the data that we are looking for. So if we were looking for the country, then we have to be careful that we look somewhere down here. We cannot say we are looking here and then going up there. No, because it's not possible. Or standing in the middle and saying, okay, I'm going up, or I will do the search for somewhere here in the country. So now we cannot do it. So or you have to take this and put it up, or you have to look for something according to the structure of your data and find out the information based on this type of sorting or information. So now we knew how to deal with the lookup value, and we know how to use them and how to take advantage of each of them based on the information that we have and based on the structure of the data and based on the way that I'm looking. So we saw here that we just took lookup, and then let's see if we can do it again here. Let's try it. It's not a big deal. We are saying equal lookup without h, which is a general lookup. And what I'm looking for this data. So what is the vector of my data is starting from here, and it will end up somewhere down here. Yes. Then what else we have? We have the lookup result where I want to find the result from. Let's say I want to find the result from the price. So I just select them and then close the bracket and enter. Now, let's see, it gave us 288. Yes, we have 288 according to this NM9876Y. So we figured out that the lookup without H and V, it works everywhere and it works both direction, vertically and horizontally. But if we have the data and we want to specify the lookup according to the direction that we have, so we could just use or vertical lookup or horizontal lookup, and they are all working the same way that we saw and there is no problem at all according to the standard that we have, and everything is clear and there's no problem at all. So no matter what, you could just use lookup without thinking about the direction of the data or without thinking about the more detail of the data. But if the information was so specific and um, you were obliged to find this data exact match, so what you have to do, you have to use or horizontal lookup or vertical lookup, because this is the way that you get the exact match. But with lookup or the general lookup, you have no right to choose if you want to have an exact match. So it just like look at it and see if the data is exist or not, even if the data is not the exact match. So it just bring the information from it. So that's why here the crucial time is coming, and you have to make the decision based on the information and on the data that you have. If you have code and you want to check based on the code, so don't be afraid and don't be hesitate to just use the normal lookup. But if you saw that there's something more tricky and you cannot deal with this data if you are not focusing on the sort of the information that you want, so you have to go and try something else or try the alternative of the normal lookup, which is or VLOOKUP according to the vector or vertical structure of the data, or going to edge lookup while your data being structured horizontally. For VLOOKUP, what we have first the lookup value where we are putting this information. Second, we have the range of data that we want to look for the value in. Then we give the index of the column that we want the data from, where we want to return the data from, the list as well. So the last one is if we want the data to be exact match or if it be an approximate match, which is the approximate match. We said that we are using it while we have some sort of information that we are not quite sure about, or we just want to have as much as result as possible according to the lookup value. This is how we are using the vertical lookup. So the vertical and the horizontal are almost the same, except the direction of the data and the selection of the data that we are doing it. But the lookup, the normal lookup or the general lookup, you can just use it wherever and whenever you want without any issue. So that's why I suggest, if you are not obliged based on the data, just use the general lookup because it is more user-friendly and you can just deal with it according to the information that you want. But if you saw that the data is, or the requirement was just to find out the vertical lookup value, so you have to do the vertical lookup for this information. Let's say in exam, I'm not sure how I will bring the question, because it depends. Sometimes it depends on the situation. Sometimes if I saw a data that it contain code, so I'm not afraid of you if you are making mistakes or not. I will just say, okay, just use this data and find out those information based on the given values, and show me the result in new table. So what you are doing, are just using the normal lookup because I didn't specify for you. But sometimes I'm asking you to look vertically for this data by using lookup function. So when I said vertically, so it means that you are obliged to use the Vlookup. But if, or I will write just, I want the horizontal lookup for this information. So you have to use lookup in this case. So yeah, it is simple, it's easy, it is nice, and so helpful while we are information, especially when you have really large data and you want to have there. So what you are doing, you are just putting this function and then select a cell each time. If it's yourself or someone else is working on it, they could just like put the data there, and then they have the whole information that they are looking for. Sometimes we are just having some sort of this, and then inserting comment. Where is the comment? I can see it. Someone help me. I'm asking. You are just looking at me like this. View. It's not here as well. Review. Yeah. So what we are doing, we are just adding a comment here and then writing just enter your look up value here. Okay. Yeah, just like making something like this. So when people, they are just coming here because they saw this, they see this red sign is mean that there's a comment. So they say, okay, yeah. So I could just put any value. So I'm just coming here and saying Control C and Control V, enter. So it's showing me the information based on that, or Control C and Control V. So I see that, yeah. So the whole information is written here. So this is the price, and this is the travel method. So yeah, why not? I'm just doing this, or just like come in here and do the same thing. For this too, I could just insert a comment and tell them that, okay, just stay there and look at the things according to this, you will get the information that you are looking for. So yeah, normal like this. So it's not a big deal and it's not so hard, especially for users. Maybe for you, it's going to be a bit tricky because you have to know what's the data and what they are looking for. So based on this information, you are just making your dynamic lookup, let's say, function, and then later on people, they can just use it within clicking. So yep. Is there any question or no? No. Even if you have question, leave it with Mama Sabnar. So I will give the mic to Mama Sabnar, and she will continue with you. And tomorrow is Islamic New Year, so I wish you a happy New Year and all the best in the coming year. Inshallah, all your dreams come true, and it may, I'm not sure, but it may, tomorrow we don't have session. So thank you for participation of today, and best of luck. Go ahead, Mausa.